All right, well, happy Saturday, Central Georgia. It's meteorologist Ansley Parker here, and as always, we are about to dive into the extended forecast here. Now, I will mention a couple of things that we're kind of going to touch on heading into this weekend. The first and foremost, how about not waking up to winter weather chances across the area? I mean, that is just a blessing in and of itself, but also we just have a really beautiful weekend on tap, and then as we head into the upcoming work week, we have a couple of changes on the way in the positive direction as well. So a lot of good things to break down in the forecast for the first time in a while. We actually have a lot of positive news, and we have our meteorologist Dani Silva, and she's going to kind of talk a little bit more about the whole forecast here. And then I'm going to go to some climatological information for the month of February. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Dani, and we will pick up over there. Dani, what's going on?
Thank you, Ansley. We've got a beautiful day as we started. We had some cooler temperatures as you woke up this morning. It might have felt a little bit chilly out the door, but the scene right now is still absolutely gorgeous across all four sky cams. It's clear blue, and as we look at our current temperatures in Perry, it's 48 degrees, and statewide or US-wide around, we are mostly kind of cool. As we look at the north, we have some cooler air starting to make its way down, especially down the Appalachians. But as we look at the southeast, we're already in the mid to upper 40s, feeling those 50s. So feeling much better. And as we take a closer look to the southeast, most of everybody is in the lower to mid 40s. As you head your way down south, you'll start to feel those warmer temperatures in the 50s, but we have this northerly flow that is still bringing some cooler temperatures, especially for our northern counties. As we look at our temperatures across central Georgia, everyone's pretty much in the same ballpark. We're in the mid to upper 40s. If not, our southern counties will start to feel a little bit warmer a little quicker. We do have this northerly wind ahead of or after a cold front that we had just yesterday, and it left us with a bit of a breeze, and most places are feeling just wind speeds of up to 15, 16 miles per hour, but those gusts out there as you step out the door is going to feel a little bit stronger and cooler. So as you head out this morning, you'll want to grab maybe an extra layer, but we're in that time of year where you wake up and you need the extra layer, but as we head throughout the day, we'll start taking some of those layers off. But right now, it feels like temperatures are in the mid upper 40s. Some places already hitting 50, Milledgeville is, and it's mostly gonna feel like that for today. For the rest of today, we've had this pattern of some really cold winter weekends. We were below average for 3 straight weekends in a row, and now that we're starting to feel warmer at around average, our averages for this time of year are typically 62 for a high. We had a low of, or around a low of 38, and just yesterday we had a high of 65. But for tomorrow, for today and tomorrow, we will be still a little bit under average, but we'll kind of jump back into those regular averages as we head in later to the week. But today we're looking at a high of 56. As we just saw, we're still going to be staying cooler and breezy as we head throughout, but we're gonna hold on to the sun. We haven't had a lot of clear blue skies as of lately, but for the last 5 hours, I mean, there hasn't been anything across the southeast, nothing heading our way, and that's going to be mainly the main picture for the rest of today as we head into the weekend. Current live radar doesn't show a single thing. Everything's still quiet and calm, and it's going to stay quiet and calm as we go in throughout the rest of this week. As we head into the rest of today, it's going to be pretty clear, calm, not many clouds in the picture until tomorrow. But if you have any outdoor plans for the rest of today, going into tomorrow, or in preparations for tomorrow, if you're setting the outdoor patio or preparing to watch the game outside, it's going to be clear, no real rain chances as we go into the weekend. And if you do prepare some grilling out for tomorrow, it's still going to be looking very nice as we go throughout the day tomorrow evening going into Monday. And rain chances on Monday are very, very, very minimal. We do have 10% on the 7-day for a possible sprinkle, but mainly going to be dry as we head into the beginning of the work week. Going into Tuesday and mostly the midweek, we kind of just see tiny blips and small chances of a possible rain shower, but nothing really significant in most of the rest of this week. So we're still going to stay mainly dry as we head throughout the week going into the weekend, and just great weather for this weekend. We'll be clear, cool, calm, but we'll still have these cool days and cold nights as we head into the beginning of the work week. But something we have to look forward to is we start this warming trend, a pretty big jump in temperatures, if you ask me, compared to the last couple of weekends. As we head into the rest of today, future like temperatures are going to be around the mid 50s, but as you wake up tomorrow, those temperatures come back down to around freezing or right below freezing. So you're still going to want to maybe warm up the car for a few minutes before you head out the door or grab that extra layer. But as we head into Sunday, the rest of Sunday, we see that warming trend in the mid to upper 50s. We start already a bit warmer than we did tomorrow morning on Monday. Lows start in the low 40s, and then we get this southerly wind that brings in some more moisture, and we have some temperatures starting to climb into the 60s as we head into the beginning of the work week. And then those lows really just start to warm up every single day as we head on. Future view wind gusts has for us the rest of the day at around 20 miles an hour, but it starts to calm its way down as you're going throughout your day on Sunday. If you have any plans to grill, you might catch a slight breeze, but nothing too significant to make your fires blow out or anything as you go throughout your day on Saturday. And we have some pretty cold feels like temperatures as you wake up for the next couple mornings. Like we just saw, temperatures are going to be around freezing, so we have some feels like temperatures tomorrow morning at around 26 degrees in the mid 20s as you wake up and head out the door on Sunday morning. It'll be around the 30s, so you'll definitely want to have that jacket as you head throughout the door the next day. But Sunday feels like temperatures start to warm up a lot more. Instead of the 20s, we start being in the upper 40s, and as we go into Monday, we'll see temperatures start to feel a lot warmer than it has been. As we look at our 7-day, we'll enjoy another day or two of some beautiful sun before clouds start making its way back into the picture. We'll have some really cold mornings as we go throughout until about Monday and Tuesday, where we'll see a significant difference in jumps of temperatures, but the 60s come back and then the low 70s really make a return, and we haven't seen that in a very long time. But as we look ahead, Super Bowl is only one day away, and meteorologist Ansley Parker has a list of some more events coming for this month.
That's right, Dani. Yeah, we have a lot to look forward to as we go into kind of the next month or two, but especially into the rest of the weekend. It's Super Bowl Sunday tomorrow, and there's a couple more holidays that are on the horizon. We have Valentine's Day coming up not too long from now. President's Day is also not too long from now, and my personal favorite is going to be the time change. That is only 29 days away, and something that I wanted to note about that is, first of all, I said this the other day, but this graphic has a lot going on, so don't get overwhelmed by what I just put on the screen. I'm going to kind of break down the part that I want to emphasize here, but we just saw that the time change is in the end of March. Not only are we actually going to have the time change where we actually spring forward, but also we're going to see us gain daylight even without that time change. So throughout the month of February, we gain on average around 50 minutes of daylight. The sunrise right now is right around 7:30 in the morning. The sunset is around 6:10 in the evening. As we go throughout the rest of the month of February, by February 28th, the end of the month, we'll have a sunrise that is closer to 7 a.m., so a lot earlier, and we will have a sunset that is closer to 6:30 in the evening. So we're gaining all of that daylight, and that doesn't even include the spring forward that we're going to have as we head into March. So overall, the days are going to start getting longer. We've made it through the darkest days of the year, and we are going to start to have a lot more sunshine as we go kind of get closer to the spring. Now, something else that I kind of want to mention here is the average temperatures. A lot of folks don't know that our average high for this time of year is actually in the low 60s. So we are now at an average low of 62 degrees. Now being several days into February, the average low is around 38 degrees. So these numbers are also going to get warmer as we go throughout the rest of the month. By the end of the month, our temperature should be sitting in the upper 60s in the afternoons, and in the early mornings, we should be staying well away from freezing temperatures. We should be in the low 40s. So that is going to be a pretty big change as we go throughout the rest of the month. Something that we really need to pay attention to here, though, is the average amount of rainfall that we have in the month of February. You may recall that when we were in kind of the year 2025, the end of the year, we struggled to get rainfall here in our area. We have been in a pretty consistent drought for the last several months. So as we kind of take a look at the drought monitor, it's actually been something that may have fallen off your radar just a little bit because the winter weather took up so much of our attention in the month of January, but we are back in the place where we need rain once again. In fact, most of our area is in a severe drought right now. The counties that are not in a severe drought are in a moderate drought, and that's for our northern counties. Now, similar to the severe drought situation that we had last year, the extreme drought category is starting to creep a little bit closer to our western counties. So we do need rainfall this month, and as you kind of heard Dani talk about just a minute ago, we don't really have a lot of rain chances on the 7-day forecast. So looking for our next big rainmaker will be something that we have to pay attention to as we go throughout the rest of kind of the month, but definitely over the next couple of weeks. We are going to need to pay attention to this and kind of see what the drought conditions will look like as we go and hopefully get a couple more rainfall events through the rest of the month. So that is that, but back to a little more fun news. It is Super Bowl Sunday. So let's take a look at the expected forecast, or it's not Super Bowl Sunday today, but it will be later this weekend, over in near San Diego, because the game is happening over in California. And they actually do have just a teeny tiny slight little rain chance in their forecast. You can see it on the future view there, and you probably know this because we say this a lot here in our area. Those tiny little blips are really just a light scattered showers. Anything that pops up that looks like that on the future view is going to be a light drizzle at best, and it's going to last a very short amount of time and not cover a very wide distance. So that is kind of the case over in California. They do have the chance for one of those or two of those little showers even around game time. Obviously game time for us here on the East Coast is this evening, but it's this afternoon over on the West Coast. So they could have a light shower or two. Overall, do I think this is going to impact the gameplay? Not really, and I really don't think it should have any impact on the game continuing. This just may be more of a nuisance for fans who are out in the stands. A light shower or two are possible, and hopefully it doesn't really cause many other problems. And then they'll have a better rain chance heading into the overnight hours, and then as we head into Monday and Tuesday, actually portions of California have a little bit of a snow chance. So very interesting there. That's obviously not the case here in Central Georgia. We have got pure sunshine, not only for the day today, but also for your Super Bowl Sunday. So if you're looking to get outdoors and enjoy your plans this weekend, Saturday is going to be a great opportunity to do so, and so is Sunday. The conditions really don't change much as we head into Sunday. What you experience today should pretty much be a copy and paste, rinse and repeat type of situation for Sunday. The only difference is Sunday morning is going to feel a little bit colder. So Dani touched on this just a minute ago. The temperatures are going to be down in the 20s on Sunday morning, and they are going to be a lot colder than where we were early this morning. But kind of the difference maker there is actually the high temperatures should be a little bit warmer. So by Sunday afternoon, we'll be warming up. And then just to kind of end it here on the 7-day forecast, we will be heading into the 70s as we head into the upcoming work week. So a big warm up is on the way. If you are not a fan of the warm weather, don't worry. We will eventually return to some cooler numbers on the other side of this. But if you are a fan of warm weather, I know me, Dani, Carmen, we were all talking about this morning. We are pumped for the 70s, I can't lie. And then you go and you see that 10% chance of rain. That covers the bases for basically what I just talked about. A light shower or two could be possible, but is not necessarily super likely across the area. That's why we're keeping it at 10% for now. We will monitor Friday to see if the long range models try to put a little bit more rain here in our area, but right now it looks like they're kind of backing off on that. So this is the 7-day as it stands. Pretty pleasant, a cool weekend that leads us into a very warm and above average work week here. And as you know, we aim to keep you informed all weekend long, especially here on 13 WMAZ Plus. So as we head into Sunday, you can catch us, of course, live on 13 WMAZ from 7 to 9. But if you're looking for a little more information, kind of checking in to see how these rain chances have changed, or potentially checking in to see what the status of the temperature is, you can check in tomorrow morning. Once again at 11 a.m. we're going to talk to you live again here in our extended forecast, and we will take another look at the forecast again tomorrow morning at the same time in the same place. So hopefully you're able to get outside and enjoy some of the weather this weekend. Just wash away the feelings of the winter weather from the past 3 weekends and get outside, enjoy the sunshine, and make it a great weekend. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We'll see you right back here tomorrow morning at the same time.